myself Rahul Thakkar from LJ Institutes of Engineering and Technology. Now, in today's video, we are covering the topics such as damped harmonic motion. In that, we will see what is underdamped motion, overdamped motion, and critically damped motion. Further, we will see forced oscillation, resonance, damped vibration, and forced vibration. So, let us start with the first topic, that is damped harmonic motion. So, in order to understand, let us consider a theory. As you can see in the figure, if we observe an oscillating pendulum, that is, then its amplitude of oscillation goes on decreasing due to the resistance offered both at the supports and by the surrounding air, and it ultimately stops. The frictional force always opposes the motion of a body, whether it is going away from the equilibrium position or it is returning towards the equilibrium position. Hence, the energy given in the inertial displacement is converted slowly but continuously into heat, and in doing work against the friction, this energy never returned to the body. This phenomena is known as an energy dissipation. As a result of energy dissipation, the amplitude of the oscillation of the body diminishes with each oscillation. When the whole of the inertial energy of the oscillating body is dissipated, the amplitude of the oscillation becomes zero. The phenomena of decay of amplitude of oscillations is known as a damping. As you can see in the figure, it shows an example of damped vibration. A mass suspended from the spring is said to vibrate in the air, will vibrate for a larger time as compared to the mass which vibrates partially in the air and partially in the liquid kept below the mass. So the damped oscillations are not sinusoidal but are more complex. Okay? The period is no longer a characteristic property of the oscillations. As you can see in the figure, the graph tends to decrease, the amplitude decreases and slowly it becomes zero. So it does not follow the sine law and the period is not a definite. So the damping of force is resistive. It opposes the motion, that is, it is always in the opposite direction to the motion. To explain the damping force dynamically, we may assume that in addition to the restoring force, that is F equals to minus kx, there is a damping force that is opposed to the velocity, friction and viscosity are such kind of forces. A damping system is subjected to the following two forces. First one, as we have discussed, that is restoring force, proportional to the displacement but opposite in direction. Second one is frictional force, proportional to the velocity but opposite the direction. Therefore, damping force becomes F dash is equals to B into V, where B is the constant that depends on the medium and the shape of the body. So, the resultant force of the body is given by F plus F dash is equals to minus Kx minus BV. Therefore, the equation of motion of a body is given by M into A is equals to minus Kx minus BV. Inertial force is equals to restoring force plus damping force. So, on placing the values, we get M d square x by dt square is equals to minus Kx minus B into dV by dx. Here for the acceleration, we have put d square x by dt square, and instead of velocity, we have put dx by dt. So, we have m d square x by dt square plus b dx by dt plus kx is equals to 0. So, we get, on dividing by m, we get d square x by dt square plus b by m dx by dt plus k by m into x is equals to 0. So, therefore, we get d square x by dt square plus gamma into dx by dt plus omega 0 square into x is equals to 0, where gamma is equals to b by m. On replacing b by m with gamma, that is the damping coefficient of the system, and omega 0 is equals to under root k by m, that is the natural frequency of the system. The equation is a differential equation, and a simple solution for the differential equation is given by x is equals to a0 into e raised to minus gamma into t by 2m into cos of omega t plus pi for omega 0 square greater than gamma square. The angular frequency of the damped oscillation is given by omega is equals to under root of omega 0 square minus gamma upon 2m whole square. And the damped angular frequency omega is less than the natural angular frequency omega 0. So depending on this equation of omega, that is the frequency of oscillations, we can conclude the types of damping, that is weak damping, heavy damping and critical damping. Weak damping is also known as a underdamped motion. Heavy damping is known as a overdamped motion, and critical damping. Okay, so let us first of all discuss about the weak damping. As you can see in the figure, I have shown the graph. So the condition for the weak damping will be discussed first. So if in the equation of omega, okay, as you can see, as we have understood earlier, omega will be real and positive quantity if and only if gamma upon 2m is less than or equal to 0 is satisfied. Okay, so when omega is real, the damping force is weaker than the restoring force and the oscillations are weakly damped. It is said that the oscillations are underdamped. So the condition represents a simple harmonic motion with amplitude a into e raised to minus gamma t upon 2m. The motion differs from the underdamped motion in the two ways. The amplitude of the oscillation is not constant but falls slowly with the time over many oscillations, as you can see in the figure. The damped oscillations are nearly sinusoidal with progressively diminishing amplitude. Weak damped systems have angular frequencies close to the system's natural frequency. Now let us discuss about the heavy damping or overdamped motion. When the damping is very large such that gamma upon 2m is greater than omega 0, the solution of the equation of omega will be complex. Okay, so in that case, omega is imaginary and there are no oscillations. The system, once displaced, return to its equilibrium position quite slowly without any oscillations. As you can see from the graph, there are no oscillations. Okay, for heavy damping, there is only one curve without any oscillations. Okay, so the motion is termed as a heavy or overdamped motion. As the damping increases, the time taken by the body to reach the equilibrium position also increases. Okay, for example, if the door closing mechanism is heavily damped, so when released from the open position, the door slowly closes. Okay, moving to the equilibrium position without oscillating. So they are used in soft close mechanisms for the kitchen accessories and the door closing mechanisms nowadays. Now next is critical damping. So when gamma is equals to 2m omega 0, so we get omega is equals to 0. And again, there is no oscillations. The motion is known as a critically damped motion. A critically damped system approaches the equilibrium position as fast as possible without any overshoot or oscillations. This is a very desirable attribute in many mechanical and electrical systems. The critically damped is used in construction of many pointer type instruments where the pointer moves and comes to the stationary position in very short time. Now next comes the force oscillation. The energy of damped oscillator decreases in time as a result of dissipative forces. It is possible to compensate for the energy loss by applying an external force which supplies energy to the oscillator. The oscillation produced when an external oscillatory force is applied to the body subject to an elastic force are known as the forced oscillations. The forced oscillations may be defined as the oscillations in which the body oscillates with the frequency other than the natural frequency under the action of external periodic force, that is, pull a child on a swing. In order to continue the oscillation of the swing, what we need? We apply a pushing force because of the air and the joint resistance. The resistance offered by the joints, okay, reduces the simple harmonic motion. So continuous pushing force needs to be applied in order to maintain the oscillations. The forces X on the body undergo forced oscillations are a restoring force F1 that is proportional to the displacement and oppositely directed, a damping force F2 that is proportional to the velocity but opposing the direction, and a driving force that is the external periodic force F3 that is equals to F0 into sine omega t. So the total force on the body is given by F is equals to F1 plus F2 plus F3. So we know that F is nothing but m into A is equals to minus kx minus gamma v plus F0 into sine omega F into t. So according to the Newton's second law of motion, the force must be equal to the product of mass into acceleration. Okay, so that equation is according to the m into A, mass into acceleration, is equals to minus kx minus gamma into v plus F0 sine omega F into t. On placing the value of acceleration is equals to d square x by dt square and v is equals to dx by dt, we get d square x by dt square plus gamma upon m into dx by dt plus k by m into x is equals to F0 upon m into sine omega F into t. So this equation is a differential equation which can be solved by standard techniques. When the force is applied to the motion is complex, the system wants to vibrate with the natural frequency omega 0, but it is being forced by a driving frequency omega f. Therefore, the motion is initially a superposition of free damped oscillation and the forced oscillations. The initial motion is referred to as transitory behavior. However, the transitory behavior decays exponentially. After the free oscillations die out, only the forced oscillation remains. We then say that the motion has reached a steady state condition and the oscillator oscillates with a constant amplitude, showing in the figure. In steady state, the energy input per cycle equals the energy lost per cycle. So in this steady state, the body is forced to oscillate with angular frequency omega f of the applied force. The steady state solution to the equation is x is equals to a into sine omega f into t minus alpha, where a is the amplitude of the force oscillation and alpha is the phase angle between the displacement x and the external force F3. Both amplitude A and the initial phase alpha are not arbitrary, constant, but are fixed quantity that depends on the omega f of the applied force. The larger the difference omega f and the natural frequency omega 0, the smaller the amplitude of the oscillator to respond to the applied force when the forcing frequency is not near to the natural frequency. It can be shown that the amplitude of the force oscillation is given by A is equals to F by m0 under root of omega 0 square minus omega f square whole square plus gamma into omega f by m whole square. At constant values of f0, m and gamma, the amplitude of the free oscillation depends on the ratio of frequency of the driving force omega f and the free undamped oscillator omega 0. the variation of the amplitude of omega f at different damping forces, damping factor gamma is shown in the equation. These equations indicate that the force oscillations are not damped but are constant amplitude. It means that the external agent overcomes the damping force and provides the energy necessary to maintain the oscillation. Now next topic is resonance. If we bring a vibrating tuning fork near another stationary tuning fork of the same natural frequency as that of a vibrating tuning fork, we find stationary tuning fork also starts vibrating. This phenomena is known as a resonance. The phenomena of making a body vibrate in its natural frequency under the influence of another vibrating body within the same frequency is known as a resonance. Next is damped vibration. A vibration or oscillation occurring in a damping medium is known as a damped oscillation or vibration. A damping medium tends to damp or decrease the motion of the oscillator generally by the frictional force. As a result of a portion of the energy of a vibration is converted into heat energy, and thus the amplitude of the vibration gradually decreases logarithmically over the time. Now next and the last one is the forced vibration. The forced vibration occurs when the object is forced to vibrate at a particular frequency by a periodic input of force. A body or a system capable of vibrating can also be made to vibrate at any desired frequency. The body can be made to vibrate with the same frequency as that of a frequency of applied periodic force. Okay. Now the amplitude of a forced vibration depends on the difference in the frequency of external forces and that of a natural frequency of the body, the amplitude of the applied force, and the damping. So that was all for this chapter, guys. That's it for today, guys. Thanks for watching.